Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. PHFL brethren, PHFL brethren. Man, just another exciting week in the PHFL. We're going to go through week 8 recap. We're going to go through week 9 so far, what games have been in the books. We got a couple of interesting segments. We got who's the best running back thus far in the PHFL. We also are going to take a look at, of course, our prestigious PHFL power rankings. A lot of movement. Again, this is week 8, not week 9. So a lot of movement in the PHFL power rankings after week 8. Late MVP push. Definitely got a interesting candidate who is now creeping up the MVP voting. So we definitely want to take a look at this guy just to, show his stats and see whether or not, he's a viable candidate in the MVP race. And then we'll also take a look at news and notes around the PHFL. We got a special segment that we want to roll out this week, taking a look at kind of a team right now when it comes to wins and losses is not, they had a couple of an upset win, absolutely. But we want to take a look at, kind of a blast from the past and can this team replicate one of the greatest symbols of talent that has been in the NFL. So we'll get to that as well, and then we'll go through our news and notes in the PHFL. But without further ado, as we normally start each individual segment, we start off with our PHFL highlights. So let's take a look at the first game is your San Francisco 49ers against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, let me freeze it here. It's 45-28. That field goal was missed. So keep this in mind as we go along and we capture week 8 highlights. Again, 45-28. San Francisco just missed the field goal, and it's 3 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the game. So again, he just missed that field goal. So now Dallas has the ball 45-28. Dak Prescott back to pass, and that is an absolute dime to CeeDee Lamb. Again, let's take a look at it. It looks like it was cover 2 coverage, the way that CeeDee Lamb was able to get, behind the seams, behind the secondary, again, 4 verts. And you got to expect that you're going to be throwing the ball deep in this situation because, again, it is 4 verts. And then, again, looking at CeeDee Lamb, again, let's let me do this here. Let me slow it down just a little bit so we can actually just kind of look at the routes, as it progresses. So let me slow it down here in our beautiful studio. So again, CeeDee Lamb. Again, look at. We got to start using switch stick. Again, you're covering underneath. I'm not sure why. So you see CeeDee Lamb is going down the seams, and everybody I guess everybody doesn't know, but everybody in the PHFL knows. If you got 3 receivers on one side, so they go into one of those receivers. I mean, especially in this situation. So again, CeeDee Lamb up the seams. You see right there the linebacker. And that's Fred Warner. So definitely was covered too. Fred, he's close enough. Maybe if you had backed him up just a tad bit, Fred would have been able to get there. But beautiful pass by Dak Prescott. Cowboys scored to make it 45-35. Again, remember that mixed extra point. Now let's get to San Francisco. Again, we are not sure what they were looking at on this particular play. Why throw the pass? I'm not sure. I'm not sure why would you throw the pass in that situation. So now the Cowboys, and again, let's go back to the instant replay. Again, let's slow it down so you can actually kind of see, with McCaffrey going in motion, you're already winning the ball game. There's no need to force it. Make the Cowboys, use their timeouts. Again, it's 1st and 10. There's no need to throw the ball in this situation and force it. Again, Purdy back to pass. We slow it down. They're in man coverage. Again, really, there's nobody open, so there's no. What were you looking at on that play? I'm not sure what you were actually looking at because the DB is right there. So you have to probably just take off right up the middle with Brock Purdy. But unfortunately, he didn't. Interception, Cowboys. The Cowboys wind up scoring to make it 45-42. Now, let's get you late in the fourth quarter. Cowboys with the football. So again, let me slow it down again so we can kind of go through, these particular highlights. And again, they were trailing in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes remaining, 45-28. Dak right now, again, you see the formation. Again, everybody's going deep. It's 23 seconds remaining in the ball game. So your focus has to be on CeeDee Lamb, as a user. So again, Amari Cooper, I'm leaving him. I'm going to use her, and you see it. Okay, he starts off. Okay, he switched stick over. He switched stick too early. Look, CeeDee wide open. He butt naked. He switched stick too early. And then boom, CeeDee catches it on the sideline. Again, let's go back. He switched stick too early. There was no need to switch stick right now in that particular area. Right now, there's no need to. It's too early. Let the play develop before you switch stick. Now, again, CeeDee wide open, butt naked, gets out of bounds, 45-42. Let's now get you to, again, literally the play of the game. CeeDee Lamb, he's on fire. And Coach BG called this. He said he's on fire. And that, again, with let me pause it, with with CeeDee, he has the double me. So, again, when he's hot, that means he's going to pretty much moss anybody. And I'm quite sure as soon as Dak and Coach True Gamer came out of the huddle, that's literally what they were looking at and going to a CeeDee Lamb with 17 seconds remaining. The Cowboys scored 20 points in 3 minutes and 22 seconds, kind of playing a spoiler. Again, CeeDee Lamb over in the corner. Dak Prescott right now as a user. And again, he started off as a user on that side of the field. So you see him right there. He's on CeeDee, but he cuts to the RB man. Maybe that RB man would have been naked. Where's Bosa? Why are you only rushing 3? I got to get Nicky Bosa, who is number 1 in the PHFL in sacks. I need him to be one-on-one. I don't need to him double team. Look, double team on the right side. I'm assuming that's Bosa. Double team the D tackle, and then the other guy on the right end is getting one-on-one. So again, you're literally hindering your defense. He throws it up. CeeDee Lamb, one-on-one. You got Moss. Touchdown, Cowboys, and the Cowboys go on to win the game 48-45 over the Dallas Cowboys. Another incredible victory by the Cowboys. Let's take you now to New York and look at the New York Jets. Again, let's slow it down. You could have called like offensive pass interference. In this case here, I'm not sure what the referees were looking at. Maybe they said, well, listen, both of these guys are going after the football, so we're going to give them both an opportunity to get the football. But again, tight formation. Brees Hall on a wheel route. Jordan Travis actually in for the injured Justin Fields. He got him wide open. He tried to use him, throws it up. Kind of, I don't know what the user was doing, I guess. It looks like, I don't know if Hall bumped him or he just took a bad angle. Touchdown. Again, this was a competitive game at the beginning, and then the Jets just pulled off and destroyed the New England Patriots. This right here was our literally our ball game of the year thus far, or the day, and then the Raiders against the Chiefs. So the Raiders now go up 37-34. They were down. The Chiefs were down 24 to nothing in this ball game. Was able to fight their way back, and again 37-34. Now Kansas City has the football. Again, they're going back and forth. Again, just an up and down affair. 38-34. Raiders are in the lead. Mahomes is hot. I love this play right here.
Running out of the
Hands it
gun
on
with
to
Pacheco.
Pacheco hits the sideline.
Run inside the 20.
Gone. Good night,
And he
good
will
morning,
get this
good
to the
evening.
end zone for a
Touchdown
Kansas City
Raiders.
touchdown.
And Kansas City up now 41-38. Going now, this right here. Let me slow this down. This is like, I mean, they talk about, the Denver Broncos and RPOs, and I'm not sure. I think it was Coach Spot was the first coach who started to do this trash. Then Coach BG jumped onto the bandwagon. Now we have Coach Casino. Here is one of the plays of the game that right now gave the Raiders the lead, 41-38. Tight end Brock Bowers goes in motion, comes back around with slowing it down, throws it to Edwards, Donovan Edwards. Now, this is supposed to be a pass. Of course, the AI, Twitch clicks on, clicks off, clicks on again, clicks off. I mean, again, let's go back. Again, I don't know what you can do. I guess man-to-man defense, but in cover two, they're going to fade back and go with their responsibilities because they're looking for the pass, because this is a pass, technically a pass that I guess you can turn into a run. Twitch is confused. He don't know what to do. So right now, again, he clicks on that DB, clicks off of him. He clicks on Tranquil, clicks off of him, clicks back on. I don't know where Twitch is now. Let me see. Hold on. Did he click back on again? Hold on. Clicks back on, then he clicks back off, and then he clicks back on again. Again, just one of the weirdest plays in the PHFL. Again, now Kansas City, we have to slow this one down because this easily could have been the game, because Twitch was right there. It was an RPO. How do you not allow a coach to coach? How do you not reward Coach Twitch with making a great user play? Again, let's okay, again, he's right there in the safety. So if he would have did anything like a play action and just sent him on a streak, that would have been a touchdown. But Twitch made a great, I'm talking about a phenomenal user play. And look at the animation. What is this? What is that? I mean, come on, man. Reward the just reading your keys, focusing on film study. Reward them. What are you throwing your hands up for? That's supposed to have been a pick six to the crib. Kansas City wins, but no. I don't know what that was. Thornton Jr. gets in and scores, makes it 44-41. But hold on, it's not over yet. Kansas City still has an opportunity to go downfield and score. Again, Pacheco with a great run. It was a no huddle. Again, let me slow it down a little bit so we can kind of just look at. I'm not sure why was Coach Twitch kind of in a rush to, with the no huddle. I understand that. Again, this is a good run. Pacheco gets to, the 45. Okay, spin move not needed for a spin move, but it gets to the 45, and it's a minute and 2 seconds left. He has 3 timeouts, so he doesn't no huddle. 51 seconds. There's no need to force this pass, but unfortunately, he did. Mahomes, now again, I think probably what he's looking at, because Mahomes has bazooka, so I'm assuming looking at this, I believe that may have been worthy, that he figured that Mahomes can lead it out further than, the receiver, put a lot of air underneath of it. worthy speed will allow him to run underneath of it. Again, not necessarily needed because you still have 3 timeouts. But as a result, as we continue to play, Mahomes, he puts it out there. He's trying to run underneath of it. But Stokes, is that Stokes? I think that's Stokes from Green Bay with the 97 speed, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody in the chat, fact check me and see if that's Stokes with the 97 speed from Green Bay. He picks it off, and the Las Vegas Raiders pull off the upset of the day, knocking off, probably of the season, knocking off the previously unbeaten Kansas City Chiefs 48-45. Now, let's get you to, again, what everybody's waiting for, our Week 8 power rankings. So, going into Week 8, again, this is not Week 9, this is Week 8. Your Dallas Cowboys were the number 1 team in the PHFL based off of the Buffalo Bills upset loss to the Seattle Seahawks. So Dallas came in as number 1 in the PHFL. They were unbeaten at 7-0. New York Jets climbing their way back up the PHFL power ranking ladder is number 2 at 7-1, followed by the Green Bay Packers, who are undefeated at 8-0. Your Los Angeles Chargers with definitely again, just a hot start with Mike gotta win. I mean, he's right now probably, I want to say head and shoulders, because again, if we did, I think we should do a vote. I think the PHFL should honestly do a vote as who should be the coach of the year. Forget what the the AI says, because I'm not sure right now who's the leader in the clubhouse, but we really should do a vote of who is the coach of the year, because it may come down to right now, you probably get a slight edge to, I mean, Mike got to win as a rookie. So, but again, what Coach Shump is doing with the Panthers, you might can flip a coin between the Chargers and the Panthers. But again, the right now Mike got to win, and the Chargers right now are coming in at 7-1, followed by the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 7-1 also on the season, and then the Carolina Panthers coming in at number 6 in the power ranking. They are 7-1. The Detroit Lions, after a week out of the PHFL Power 8 power rankings, are now back in at number 7. I'm not sure how long that's going to last. Wink, wink, hint, hint. But the Lions right now are in the power ranking top 8 at 6-1, and your Atlanta Falcons making their first entry into the power ranking. The PHFL power rankings are coming in at number 8. Again, Coach BG is doing a great job with the Falcons. They're 7-2. Again, their lone 2 losses is to the Chiefs and to the Panthers. And dropped out of the PHFL Elite 8 is your Buffalo Bills, and the team that could be back shortly, again, depending on what happens in week number 9, is your Jacksonville Jaguars. So we have, again, let's take a look at, before we go around and look at week 9, a special segment that, we're going to call it maybe flashback or back in the day. We gotta give some kudos to, again, is this the Legion of Boom 2.0? Coach Whoop and the Seattle Seahawks right now are leading the PHFL in interceptions with a mind-boggling 47. Nick the Quick, the rookie from South Carolina, speedster, bring the wood, right now is leading the PHFL with 11 interceptions. JT Wood is second in the PHFL in interceptions with 9, and Devin Witherspoon, is 8th, and he's 3rd in the PHFL. So literally the Seattle Seahawks have the top 3 interceptors in the PHFL. So again, if it's not a couple of superstars, and again in the making from that secondary, then we have to really look at how progressions are actually done in the PHFL. And right now, the freaking Seattle Seahawks are only a half a game out of first place. And I believe, they hold the head-to-head because they defeated the 49ers. So they're right there. So we got to give Coach Whoop Again, not a lot of wins, but a couple of impressive wins. But what that secondary is doing with 47 interceptions and three out of the four interception leaders are Seattle Seahawks. We definitely want to make sure that we provide some kudos to Coach Whoop and what they're doing in Seattle as far as that secondary. That secondary right now is definitely playing at an elite level. So let's take a look at, again, some of the action in week number 9 of the PHFL. I mean, this game was talked about. There was a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of animosity. There's no love lost between these two teams and the Green Bay Packers. I mean, if we look at like the parlays, I think right now Coach BG may be close to winning the parlays, but Coach Woe, he stick with Coach Deasy through thick and thin. Coach Wolf, Coach Twitch, Coach Yells, Coach Dolph, Coach Casino, Coach FB, and Coach Whoop. But those of us, Coach Shifty, Coach Shump, the old ball coach, Coach Ballin, Coach BG, the old school cats, we knew. I mean, we true gamer. We knew. You know what I mean? Even got to give some of the new cats love as well. But we knew kind of what was going to happen. And the Green Bay Packers, I mean, they really dominated the game, knocked off the Lions 38-24. And I don't think that the game wasn't even that close. A lot of the Lions points came in kind of garbage time when pretty much the game was already out of reach. Jordan Love again is right now is probably your MVP favorite. 24 for 30, 366 yards, 4 tubs and 1 interception. Again, from the wide receiver perspective, Matthew Golden. I mean, are we going to use her? I mean, we're going to get somebody to play over top of him. 10 receptions, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. Christian Watkins, 6 receptions, 97 yards, 1 touchdown. Romeo Dobbs, Romeo, Will thought out, or is that Romeo and Juliet, whatever it is. 2 receptions, 19 yards, 1 touchdown. Again, a lot of talent. I don't know whether or not maybe the locker room is a little bit, fractured in Detroit because of some of the trades, some of the questionable trades. But there's still a lot of talent with Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams, and I'm not understanding why Montgomery is not getting any love, in the backfield. I mean, you just got Laporta. You got a lot of talent, but I'm just not sure where the disconnect is against, teams with losing records. The Lions are 6-0. With teams with winning records, the Lions are 0-2. So, again, they really have to take a deep soul search and really look within themselves to see, again, what can they do when they face the better competition. Speaking of Coach Whoop, again, we just talked about him with the Legion of Boom 2.0, 76 points, Jalen Milroe. I mean, this kid right now, again, 12 carries, only had 19 yards, but 22 for 32, 494 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception as they destroy the Mr. Anderson and the Rams. I'm glad Mr. Anderson is still hanging in there. Again, the kid is taking the beating. Keeps getting up. Every time he gets smacked, he keeps getting up. So we definitely want to make sure we give a shout out to Mr. Anderson again for showing that intestinal fortitude to being able to take a beating. Because like, Henry Hill said on Goodfellas, everybody takes a beating. So again, 76-14, the Seattle Seahawks knocked off the LA Rams. And I would imagine there was a couple of interceptions. There they go again. Nick the Quick with 2, Tariq Rulin with 2, Julian Love with 1. JT Woods with 2. Like, you gotta be kidding me, man. How many interceptions? Let's see, how many interceptions does Tariq have on the season? Because he's probably going to be maybe in the top 10 relatively soon. So 2, 4, 5, 6. 6 on the season. I mean, this secondary is definitely tough to deal with when it comes to passing. Again, Coach Wu right now is only a half game out of first place, and this probably was the shocking game of the season. Again, the Cowboys, I guess in the PHFL, you're probably due to have a bad game. I'm just not sure that it needed to, like we expected it to be like this. But the Atlanta Falcons destroyed the Dallas Cowboys 57-17. Dak Prescott, 9 for 23, 183 yards. 1 touchdown and 5 interceptions. Wow. that's you're not going to win a lot of games. Matter of fact, you're not going to win any game with that type of quarterback play. Michael Penix, again, we're definitely gonna take a look at him in a second. Michael Penix, 23 for 31, 297 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Bijan Robinson, 25 for 144. Kyle Pitts, 5 for 83 and 3 touchdowns. Wow. I know that is Drake. Oh no, Drake London wasn't injured. 2 for 27 for Drake London. Mooney, 5 touchdowns, 5 catches rather for 55 yards. Again, just a dominating victory by the Atlanta Falcons, who are now um, 7-2 on the season. And I think again, we're gonna have to start to really, let's go talk about the aforementioned Michael Penix. Can he make a late MVP push? I mean, right now the Falcons they're 7-2. Michael Penix, completing, a decent, percent of his passes. Right now he has 3,221 yards, 30 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, a 99.89 QBR. The Falcons right now are 7-2. Again, can he make a late push? He's completing 63%, of his passes. So, I mean, right now, and the Falcons' only 2 losses of the season were against the Carolina Panthers and the Kansas City Chiefs. So, again, it's not out of the question, even though I think right now you probably have to give the edge to Jordan Love just based off of the statistics and, again, their dominating victory over the Lions. But if you look at the Falcons' upcoming schedule, after New Orleans, they got Denver, they got the Chargers, they got Minnesota, they got the Raiders, they got the Giants, Kansas, Washington, and Carolina. So, I mean, there's some tough games in there that if Penix has not say decent, but if he has a great stretch run, then we definitely have to look at Michael Penix as definitely a MVP threat in the PHFL. Elsewhere in the PHFL, this one here, at least for me, I got to look at this because the old ball coach got this one wrong. We got to stop disrespecting the Chargers now. Like, enough is enough. Like, enough of the disrespect of the Chargers. We're going to have to now put them in a different category. I see Baldwin is on the bandwagon. Coach BG is on the bandwagon. Coach Yales, Coach Marr, Coach Casino, and I guess that's the new Bengals, Coach Finesse. But again, Schiff, Woe, me, Shump, Wolf. I mean, we kind of going back and looking at kind of your old clippings, but we got to give them credit. I mean, the Chargers, they manhandled the manhandled the Browns 45-28. Justin Herbert, 23 for 34, 383 yards, 3 touchdowns. Nick Chubb still got a little bit left in the tank. 17 carries, 87 yards. And I think we may need to look at Justin Herbert next week. We'll probably put him as our MVP focus just to be able to take a holistic view at Herbert to see whether or not he has a realistic opportunity. The rookie Gatson, I believe he's from Syracuse, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he had good speed in NCAA. Yep, that's him. Gaskins, again, he had a good game as well for the Chargers, hauling in 7 catches for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns. So it looks like it was a battle of the tight ends with David Njoku with 11 catches, 172 and 3 touchdowns. But again, the Chargers again moved to 7-1 on the season, knocking off the Cleveland Browns 45-28. And let's get to one more game. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, they just had a tough loss to Green Bay. They went. I mean, look, he only had 3 people that picked the Jags. And how is this dude BG? He picked the Jags. Like there was nothing that gave you any indication that the Jaguars was going to win this game. Nothing. But they did. I guess the scoreboard is what gave you the indication. So, I mean, the Jaguars, again, they go to 7-2 on the season, knocking off the uber-talented Philadelphia Eagles 42-35. Trevor Lawrence, 19 for 28, 352, and 3 touchdowns. Ezekiel Elliott, there was an Ezekiel Elliott sighting in Jacksonville. I'm not sure. We may have to go and look at transactions and see how in the hell Ezekiel Elliott is on anybody's roster. But again, he had 5 carries for 62 yards and a touchdown. And Brian Thomas Jr., 4 for 115. Brendan Strange, 7 for 92 for the Jaguars. So that's kind of a quick look at Week 9 in the PHFL. Going into Week 10, again, a couple of good games for next week. Carolina and the Giants. That's going to be a good game. The Giants right now are 5-4. They knocked off the Washington Commanders earlier in the week. The Cowboys and the Eagles are always a tough matchup. The old ball coach and Coach Twitch, again, they renew their rivalry. That's going to be a good game. The Jaguars, again, they just knocked off the Eagles. Can they do it again and knock off the Minnesota Vikings? Right now, Vegas has the Vikings heavily favored in this game. So, again, get your bets in, guys. Get your bets in. Remember, a dev upgrade if you can get all of them right. I think right now BG may have Week 9. I think, again, he's undefeated thus far. So get your bets in. We have Tampa Bay against San Francisco. We got Miami against the Rams. We have Detroit. Okay, and we have... Okay, this probably is going to be a one right. Nobody's picking. Everybody's picking Coach Mike S. over Coach Finesse. And we have... Okay, so that's it there. A couple of good games this week in week number 10. So make sure you go to your parlay in the pick'em count. Coach TDG right now with 39. Coach Woe with 37. Correct. Coach Yells with 35. Coach Wolf with 34. Coach Twitch with 31. And Coach Shump with 30. So, again, just a lot of great action in the PHFL. Let's take a look at in our final segment before we kind of go through and do a recap. Let's look at 2 of the top running backs in the PHFL, starting with Jaleel McLaughlin and Rachaad White. Again, Rachaad White he's right now he should be the catalyst of the Tampa Bay team. I think, again, one of the things that is kind of holding them back is just the sheer number of turnovers. But right now, McLaughlin is leading the PHFL in rushing 932 yards to Rachaad White's 921. McLaughlin with 8 touchdowns. White with 6 touchdowns. White right now with a 5.2 yards per carry. McLaughlin at 4.66. Again, both of these, running backs are relatively even. I think probably the edge, we have to look at it because right now Rachaad White is a superstar. And again, he's young enough where the focal point of their offense, really should be White. Again, they do have a lot of talent on the defensive side or the offensive side of the ball, rather, as far as skill possession. But I think everything really should start and stop with the running attack. So now, this is, again, you go through and you look at, and all of us that are football fans, like, we know. Again, I see the chat. I see that Coach Mike got a win. Shout out to you. What about the Jaguar hate? Nah, man, we got to give. I know, man. We giving the Jaguar some love, bro. We giving the Jaguar some love, man. But you got to look at this. Like, we're all football fans, right? And we know. Looking at the turnover differential, right? Everybody right now, when you look at it, losing records. When you look at this, minus 21. That's all you need to know as far as right now. Why are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers struggling? They have a minus 21 turnover differential. you won't win. The Raiders, minus 20. The Cardinals, minus 15. The Rams, minus 14. The Dolphins, minus 10. The Patriots, minus 10. Conversely, when you look at the winning teams, again, the New York Jets right now are plus 23. How the freaking Seattle Seahawks are plus 20 and they're 4-5 is mind-boggling. But they are. You know, again, Coach Yale's plus 18. Coach BG plus 12. The Lions plus 11. The Chargers plus 9. Again, normally when you have a better overall point differential, or that turnover differential rather, is in a plus versus a minus, that normally equates to having a successful season. So again, kind of recapping the PHFL this week in the PHFL. Power 5, again, the Cowboys are coming in after week 8 at number 1, the Jets number 2, the Packers 3, the Chargers 4, the Chiefs 5, Carolina 6, Detroit 7, Atlanta 8. The Buffalo Bills have dropped out of the PHFL power rankings, and the Jacksonville Jaguars probably will be making a return trip shortly. Again, we talked about Michael Penix. Can he make a MVP push? Right now, the Falcons are 7-2. Actually, 7-2 with a dominating victory over the Dallas Cowboys. So that's going to strengthen Michael Penix MVP chances as we head into the second half of the season. In our highlights, again, we went through the Dallas Cowboys knocking off the Dallas Cowboys knocking off the San Francisco 49ers, and then we looked at the Kansas City Chiefs and the Oakland Raiders. We also, again, you got to give them credit. I mean, the Legion of Boom 2.0. Coach Whoop has these boys in Seattle believing. There's so much speed and talent in that secondary that, again, that team is going to be a problem when we get to the second season, and if we're able to get to a third season before NCAA drops, before we convert over to game day PHFL, that Seattle secondary is going to be a freaking problem in the NFC West. So again, another fantastic week of PHFL action. Man, all the fellas are getting their games in. We did have a guy. I mean, he was an OG. I kind of call him an OG. He was a baby G, man. Coach B. Dot. I mean, the commissioner beat the snot out this kid, man, and he left. So, the Texans right now are looking for a coach. A couple of interviews are coming up. But this is your boy, the old ball coach, coming live from the studios right outside of Washington, D.C., where the temperatures are 78 degrees and sunny. I'm about to grab me a nice little mimosa, kick my feet up, and watch the Knicks and the Celtics. Until our next episode, peace.